Good afternoon, Magic players and card collectors of all kinds. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here to do my first update on bracket number 2. Bracket number 2 is going like shit. I've had two fourth place finishes and two third place finishes, and they were all brutal fucking matches that were not fun at all. So I am definitely going to probably be taking a break for the rest of the day. I am intending to play with Anthony tonight, and I'm going to try and record some of that for our channel so that you guys have another match to check out. But otherwise, I really just am not having a good time with this second bracket. Um, I'm finding everyone's playing overpowered decks compared to what they say they're bringing to the table in a lot of cases. The only match where I could say that didn't really happen was the Queen Marchesa deck. Every other match that I've played, it's just been overpower, and it's really sucked the last couple of days. So, um, with the bitching out of the way, I am going to profile the two decks of the first set of brackets for you guys. I haven't played the Anhelo deck yet against anybody online for the tournament. I played it a few times. It's really not the most optimal deck. I'm not expecting it to do well in this tournament, but I could be surprised considering how poorly the Artificers did in their first round, or their first match. This deck is basically Death Touch plus discarding plus disrupt you in any way, shape, or form that I can come up with. It has poison counters in it. It has Evelyn in it. It kind of does everything. The Blood Tyrant is the big boy in this deck. If it were a legendary, it would be the commander of this deck instead of Anhelo. But unfortunately, it is not, so yeah. I've also got a Baleful Strix in here, Mystical, lots of Death Touch, lots of damage dealing cards. It's a very niche deck. It's got a Nico Bolas Planeswalker in there for shits and giggles. Mostly just a lot of Death Touch. The idea of this deck is... Ooh, Vector Asp is a good card. But yeah, it's mostly just trying to last out my opponents, essentially, and poison them to death. It's not a very strong deck by any means, but it's a lot of fun to play. It basically is a deck that I made out of all my older cards that I found about a month ago when I went home. It hasn't actually been a month yet. Feels like it's been a month. So that is the Anhelo deck. Very basic deck. Doesn't have a lot of kicks or anything into it. No major win con. I basically just am there to disrupt everybody else's boards for the fun of it with that deck. This one here, on the other hand, is supposed to be a lot better than it has proven to be so far. Um, it is a Planeswalker deck, or not a Planeswalker deck, a Planes Chase deck, but I've taken out a lot of the cards that had anything to do with Plane Chase. For the most part, it's just an artifacts deck now. The only thing that is in there is I can roll one more planar dice and ignore one of the two. But other than that, there really isn't a lot of anything in here for planar. It's mostly just an artifacts deck, which it is a really nice artifacts deck. Got lots of artifact tokens in there too. Lodestone's Needle is a really nice one. Cutthroat Negotiator has the parlay. Paradise Bloom has definitely been a key component of this deck. Anthony's most hated card in this deck, Rashimi and Ragavan. Argentum Armor. The Etched Champion is pretty cool. He has protection from all colors as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. I like the little tough cookie. The big one in this deck is the Hellkite Igniter. The goal is to get as many artifacts and token artifacts onto the board as possible, and then just boom through people with the Hellkite. And that is that deck. So the Artificer deck, it's designed more, like I say, around building a lot of artifacts on the board, tokens on the board, trying to get the board state just completely filled up fast, and then overwhelm my opponents with too many creatures. Not a strong deck, but a fun deck to play nonetheless. I would say if I were to try and evaluate power levels, I would say that that's like a 4, and this is like a 6 at best. But honestly, with the way things have gone lately, I don't really trust power levels that much anymore. So I prefer to have the rule 0 talk at the beginning of the match, and just kind of see what decks are doing what and what the point of them is, and have a good time that way. Anyways, I've got 2 more matches that I have to do in the first. I have 2 more decks that I have to play for match 1, but I should be moving on to match 2 tomorrow, I figured, probably. So, in the meantime, I hope all is well with you guys, and tomorrow you will get to see my zombie deck and my vampire deck. Much love to you all. Thank you for tuning in, and from me to you, have a wonderful day. Bye!